Welcome to our Victorian home here in London. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Ash and this is my partner Chad. We met nearly 6 years ago and since then we've shared a bit of an adventure together, from travels through Paris in the Caribbean to exploring much of Italy where we hope to buy a place one day in the near future. But along the way we also found a little house in East London. It was full of charm but very much a project, and for the past 3 years we've been slowly restoring it room by room. Our goal has always been to create a home that feels warm, lived in and timeless, filled with antiques, art and pieces that mean something to us. We lean towards British design with a love for craftsmanship, character and the occasional dash of colour. We're truly proud of this house. It's our first ever home and obviously our first renovation, and after 3 years we thought that this was the right time to put it up for sale. But the right house hasn't come along just yet. So what we're doing this year is we're fixing all of the mistakes that we made in the first 3 years. There's nothing too significant, but we're going to start with something I've been talking about for a while. And that brings us to today. So today's a really exciting video because we're actually going to start the design process for our mini kitchen renovation. A question I always get asked is about design itself. So how do I get started? How do you know where to get everything? How do you know how to source things? And basically, how do you start something from scratch? And that's basically the perfect opportunity to talk about today's sponsor of the video, Milanote, and how I like to use it. Milanote is like a digital pinboard where you can gather creative ideas, inspiration, and practically organize every detail in one beautifully visual space. If you're not sure where to begin a project, Milanote's got you covered. They offer over 100 built-in templates for a variety of creative projects. But whenever I start a project like this kitchen renovation, I always love to start with a mood board. My goal for this space is to remove the overhead cabinetry and extractor fan, opening up what I've always considered the ugliest side of the kitchen, giving it a more airy and inviting feel. I've used Milanote to pull together visual inspiration like colour palettes, tiles from Deval Kitchens, and an aged brass wall light from Soho Lighting, creating a clear visual reference for how I want the space to look. If you're like me, and I know you are, you spend hours on Pinterest, and I want to show you how useful this tool is that Milanote have. It's called the Web Clipper tool. So all you have to do is scroll through Pinterest as usual, but then there's a save option and you can choose to save it to your mood board. You then go to your Milanote board and then drag across the image onto the mood board and it's there. And you can even add a note to remind yourself as to why you've added this picture. So for me, with this picture, it was the pans. After I've set the visual direction, I move into the practical side by setting up a project plan board. Here I've broken down every step, ordering tiles and brass rails, sourcing a new tap, ideally a hot tap, choosing fabrics for blinds, organising lighting, and scheduling the removal and rewiring of cabinetry. Dad, if you're watching, this is where you come in. And I will just say, for someone who is as unorganised as me, having this sort of like a to-do list on a project plan board like this is game changing. I love how easy Milanote is to use. Just drag and drop items, link websites directly to products, and even create quick to-do lists alongside inspiring images. It's especially helpful being able to share these boards with others involved, like my dad, who's helping out with the cabinetry and electrics, even though he doesn't know it yet. Milanote isn't just great for renovations, it's great for any creative project. Whether you're redesigning a space, organising an event, or simply gathering inspiration for future ideas. You can easily share your boards, collaborate in real time, and keep everyone involved updated, which is essential for projects like this. But sometimes you want to keep these separate from your partner because they'll go in and change things. So I will send this to Chad for final approval once everything has been ordered, basically. Milanote is completely free to sign up with no time limit. Click the link in my description to start organising your next creative project. Thank you again to Milanote for sponsoring today's video. So here we are now in the kitchen. Most of you will have seen this kitchen before, but I rarely show this side of the kitchen, purely because I think it's the ugly side. The other side of the kitchen, where I'm looking now, is a really beautiful, feels very farmhouse-esque, it's styled nicely, but this side does feel like an afterthought. I've explained before in my other videos, when we designed this kitchen with Ren, we didn't really get that much of a say, but what I said I wanted was like a kitchen hearth, something that looked sort of reminiscent of a fireplace. And they said that, I think it was either the collection before they no longer have access to, because I saw a Ren kitchen that actually had the thing that I wanted, but they said for some reason they didn't have access to that anymore. So this is what they built instead. It's a really ugly cupboard storage unit. We keep all of our like spices, our pastas, everything in there. So I mean, it is useful, but I do want to relocate everything on this side. This bit up here, I'm actually scared to open this because it always breaks. This just proves how bad Wren kitchens are, but basically, this has been broken 3 times in the time that we've had a Wren kitchen, and it's been fixed twice. So this is the 3rd time it's broken. Wren have come out twice to fix it, and I'm just fed up of asking them to come back. So this is one of the reasons as to why we want to get rid of it. The extractor fan unit in here is redundant. It doesn't do anything. It's not connected to the outside. There's no vent. So everyone might think that I'm only doing this for the looks of it, but in reality, this doesn't function very well as a kitchen. So I'm not going to be able to get this back on the wall, by the way. So yeah, the plans for the kitchen. Actually, whilst I'm here, I'm just going to take this down because it's really going to bother me. And it spurs me on to get the rest of this done. So let's just take this down. Don't get a Wren kitchen, guys. Trust me. Just do not do it. Right, so kitchen cooker hood removed. So imagine all of this is going to go, including the extractor fan. And what I'm planning to do is tile. Now, this is where I might need your help because I haven't fully decided on what I want the tile to look like. I've decided on a style of tile, which I will show you in a second. You would have seen it on the Miller note board that I've been using for this kitchen renovation. But what I want to do is basically tile up to a certain point. I don't want to go to the ceiling. I think I want to do it around 3/4 and then have a shelf running all the way across. So like a 3 or 4 meter shelf. And then have that as like a pantry, I guess. So have styling bits, have lamps on it, have some nice pieces of art, and that's going to be the wall of the kitchen. We're going to have a long brass rail running all the way across it, and I'm really excited about this because this is what's going to make it really lovely. I also want to change this oven. This oven is just one of the bog standard ovens that Wren gave us, and obviously it's not the nicest looking. But the other day, I actually placed an order with Decor to order some tiles. These are the cream subway tiles. They are inspired by the undergrounds and subways of London and New York. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the tones of this very well, but these are a really beautiful shade of cream and they're all handmade, so they're slightly different and they vary in tones. But I really love a subway tile like this. I don't like the smaller, thinner ones, but I think these sort of transition between looking a bit farmhouse and a bit more like contemporary. So what I'm thinking of doing is having like a brick stack all the way across, 3/4 up, and then finishing it with a shelf. If I can find any inspo images right now, I will pop them in to make sense of what I'm saying. But then the other day, when I ordered these, they come with a border tile. And this has thrown me slightly because I'm thinking now it might look quite nice not having a shelf, maybe having the shelf above and then finishing the tile with a border tile. But I don't think there's enough room on that. So I think I'm more leaning towards ending the tile with a shelf on top like this. But let me know your thoughts. This is why I like YouTube. It's not instant, so I might have already made a decision by now. But I would love to know your thoughts. So please let me know. Would you prefer to have, so these in a brick stack finished by a border tile, maybe then with either one long shelf running across or dotted shelves, not too sure how that would plan out, or my original idea, which was to brick stack the tiles all the way up to around 3/4, so probably around here, and then this would be the shelf. Let me know your thoughts. I also have nearly placed an order for some lights. I want some really big sort of task lighting hanging over. We only have 2 small lights from Jim Lawrence on this side of the kitchen. Spotlights, sadly, in the ceiling as well. Top tip, if you're gonna do a renovation, try not to include spotlights. I knew this when we were doing the renovation, but we did them anyway and we never use them. The only time we use them is for cleaning, but that's because we don't have enough other lights. So this leads me on to the next part of the kitchen renovation. All the electrics are clearly plumbed into the extractor fan, and there also are under cabinet lightings here. These are just those long sort of fluorescent tubes that are quite old fashioned, but what I want to do is get my dad to channel out an electric point and then have maybe 3 lights popping over like this, big task lighting, probably in an antique brass. I did find one that's also on my Miller note board and I've popped it on there. It's from Soho Lighting Company. They're probably the best I found so far and I probably will place an order for those, but yeah. again, need your help. Do I have 3 lights? This stretch of kitchen is obviously uneven to like the wall because there's a door here on this side. If you can see that, I'm not too sure. But I think 3 lights would look really lovely. But then the issue I have is that one of the lights is going to come over the cooker and we're not going to have an extractor fan. So I don't think that's a very good idea. So what I might do instead is have 4. So maybe 2 and 2, or obviously just 2. I'm still yet to decide. I haven't placed an order. It's obviously cheaper to do 2 than 4, but I think 2 would look the best, but maybe 4 would balance it out a little bit more. I'm not too sure. I think 4 is too much. So yeah, I'm thinking 2 lights, 1 light up here, 1 light up here, task lighting, so it's pointing down to the countertops, so then it makes it easier for cooking, prepping dishes, spending more time in here. But yeah, I'm really excited. So that's all I have to show you at the moment. I have ordered some other things. I've ordered the brass rail that goes all the way across. I had to measure that the other day. That's also from Decor. It was quite expensive. I think it was around £150, but it's a really beautiful unlacquered brass rail with lots of S-hooks. And we're gonna have things like copper brasses hung from it, and it's gonna make it really warm and really fill this kitchen and make it feel a little bit more lived in. Like I said, this is just a waste of space. It doesn't look nice. It really doesn't function very well because we can only fit a certain amount of things in this. We don't really use it, if you can see in here. It's just glasses, all that sort of stuff. So we're gonna have them on the shelves. And I know most of you are probably gonna say having open shelves is a pain in the bum because you have to clean everything all the time. But I think we're clean enough to want to clean it all the time, and we use our dishes all the time. We don't have an excess amount of dishes. So I think they're not going to be resting there a long time, and it's just going to make it look a lot nicer. So I think that concludes the current kitchen plans. We're in a bit of a debate right now as to whether to extend our kitchen. So where you're positioned right now is our side alley, and we're trying to get quotes to see whether it's a feasible idea to push the kitchen back a little bit, because then that completely changes the second part of this kitchen renovation. Because in this corner over here, now that we're getting rid of all these shelves, I wanted to turn our downstairs cupboard into a bit of a pantry. So I was thinking about extending a wall at the end of where the cabinets are here. So there would be a wall here and then a door opening here, like a see-through glass panel door. And in there we'd put some open shelving where you can pop all your like pastas, your rices, your grains, nuts and all that sort of stuff. So I think that would look really nice. But that's going to be on a pause until we get the quotes for this side alley. I think someone might be coming quite soon to give us a quote, fingers crossed. And yeah, we weren't really planning to do that. So if that happens, we're going to have to change the back door. We're going to have to remove our new sash window in the dining room. It's quite a lot. Yeah, for the time being, we're going to focus on this because this will stay the same regardless. We'll keep our oven here. We would like to change this oven to a nicer, like a range master. We have to have an induction because we don't have a gas connection here. We cut it off when we came in because we didn't want gas for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so another oven. And then I think this kitchen will feel a little bit more designed and a bit more high-end. Please do let me know your thoughts on everything I've just gone through. I appreciate it was quite a whirlwind tour. But yeah, I'm really excited to get on with this, and pray for me that I'm not gonna get told off about this wonderful cooker hood. I'm actually really tempted to start knocking this out right now because we need to start doing it, but I think another week, max 2 weeks, and this will all be off. So stay tuned for that video. This probably is a perfect time to say, if you're not subscribed, please do, because we do have a lot of renovations coming very soon. But yeah, let's get on with the day and see what else we can get done.
Hold it up to the camera.
Right, hello everyone. We are here to do our not so regular unbox my shopping with me. Chad did it a few weeks ago, or he recommended that we should do it a few weeks ago. And to my surprise, a lot of you really enjoyed it. So we've just been to Waitrose and we're going to unpack our shopping. Again, sorry if this is boring for you, but I wouldn't watch this.
I think it's, we know it's popular from last time.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Like,
I just love seeing what people eat and what they buy and how they do it. And just because people enjoy This might be the last thing.
I think it's just people are nosy. They like to, like we're nosy.
We're very nosy.
We're very nosy. So yeah, this isn't really a week's worth. This is just a couple of days worth. So
Maybe start.
Where do we start?
Start with
the
this.
meat. Sorry, I've just opened this.
Oh yeah. So tonight we're having a lamb. We're not really lamb people, to be honest, because lamb's quite fatty meat. And I think we were mad for the taste of it.
No.
We found a recipe that does involve a lac of ram. Now, a rack of lamb. And for those of you who are fortunate to live not in London, in like the Cotswolds, places like this, you have an abundance of like farm shops and really good. We don't have that in London, so you kind of just have to go to the supermarkets where possible. And yeah, we just get this one, which is, I don't know if you can see that.
French trimmed rack of British Dorset lamb.
If you are vegan or vegetarian, I'm sorry. However, it is this one from Waitrose, which is really good. It's kind of like their higher quality one that has like better animal care, usually organic, grass-fed, all that kind of good stuff.
And always, Chad likes to talk, so we're not going to do a talk through each product.
Yes,
but
sorry.
I think the ones Chad will want to talk about, he will talk about.
Fine. And then chicken. Well, we usually get a lot of chicken.
Yeah, we cut down on that chicken, I think.
Yeah, big time. Ash is a big fan of quiche. I hate quiche.
I love a quiche.
And if you're not from the UK, I don't know if it's French, isn't it? Quiche. So you might know it if you're French, but
I know it's French.
yeah, I think it's disgusting.
And you have to have a broccoli quiche. Nothing else, just a broccoli.
Take his word for it. But anyway, Ash usually gets the kind of like Waitrose own brand one, and it's not full of good stuff. I was reading it, but this brand is pretty good, which I think is like Higgity.
Higgity.
But we get their little rolls and things.
I think we've got some of their rolls, right?
Yeah.
These little Greek feta and sweet red pepper rolls. If you ever just want like a little snack, these are really healthy, really nice.
And this quiche is the garlic roasted broccoli and vintage cheddar. So that's that. Again, you'll notice a pattern here where Ash eats everything that's snacky. Not processed, just snacky. But I'm not a big fan of like salamis and meats, but Ash, being Italian, is. However, he gets the French saucisson.
Don't tell my family this. I do love a Milano salami, but I am into my herb and garlic crusted things, and I do like a saucisson.
Yeah, we're starting off with the not healthy stuff. There's just a few bits, but I'm out on Friday. Ash needs dinner. He doesn't like cooking for one. Like you hate.
I hate cooking for one. Yeah.
So he's got himself a pizza.
Very healthy.
This is the wood-fired prosciutto, cotto, chestnut mushroom, and mascarpone sourdough pizza.
Mouthful, isn't it? Right, next.
Next is. I'm just trying to get. I don't like fish, but I want to get more omega in my diet. I want to get more fish. I don't mind tuna.
Omega 3.
Omega? Yeah.
Omega 3.
Oh, you get different omegas. So.
I don't know.
Anyway, and obviously just try and incorporate some fish into my diet. I actually don't mind tuna mayo, so I don't mind putting a little bit of mayo in with some tuna chunks and putting it on a piece of sourdough or something. So you're a fish person, big time.
Yes, I do like mine.
We'll get a bit more healthier. We have here our
microgreens. I'm a really big fan of microgreens. And I might start ordering some seeds I can make myself, because we buy these every week and they waste quite frequently. We don't eat them enough.
Yeah. And you're really good at incorporating them into like egg on toast.
Egg on toast. If you have like scrambled egg on toast, poached egg, fried egg, it's really nice. Just sprinkle some of them. Some of them are peppery, some of them are like lettuce flavored. But basically, if you've never had them before, they're tiny little like lettuces and salads. But the flavor is like 100 times.
And they're full of good nutrients.
Really nutritional, yeah.
And I think it's about £1.90 for the pack.
They are, yeah.
So easy. Another thing I'm trying to do is get more water into my. I'm good at drinking water, but we don't drink 4 litres a day or something?
I drink lots of water, but you don't drink.
Too much still water I find a little boring, but I do like sparkling water. So what I've started to do is I bought 50 cans, but is Dash water. If you're from the UK, you'll know what this is. It's essentially. It's got no bad in it, to the best of my knowledge. It's just pure sparkling water made with real fruit and veg. So my favourite's the cucumber one, but you get sort of peach, raspberry, blackcurrant. And now I'm more than getting. I think also because we're cutting down on alcohol, like we're not drinking during the week. There was always that need to like reach for something, and like now I reach.
A cold glass or something, you know?
Yeah, now it's this. So.
I don't know which one you want to start on next. Veg. We get a lot of veg. This is probably the least amount of veg we've bought recently.
Yeah.
I've got a few dishes which I might run through with you guys in a minute, but one of them is I can't remember what the name of it was. It's like a wrap with hot honey and halloumi. So I bought some halloumi, and this one is with mint. So that should be really lovely.
I feel like we need to go faster. We're doing that thing.
I know, yeah, sorry.
Tzatziki, which is like
one of my dishes.
A Greek sauce. Edamame.
Another one for my dishes, obviously.
We've just got some jars. We have like hundreds of these.
Yeah, if you saw inside our spice drawer.
But we have here garlic granules, onion granules. We use fresh onion and garlic, but for this specific recipe, you need this. Same with garam masala. One thing I love, Waitrose do these big fat spring onions. You know, you just get this. We're not doing this again. It's a spring onion. But yeah, they're the little piddly ones that we're not fans of, but these are great. Cauliflower.
Another salad. We're doing quite a lot of salads this week. A lot of chickpea bean salad as well.
Pomegranate. These are the pomegranate seeds, but we put these in a rice for like feta and things. Really nice.
A mint feta. Pomegranate molasses with pomegranates as well. Really good.
Some curry leaves. Some flat leaf parsley. Some chives.
I'm going to put this away in a minute, by the way.
We're doing a roast on Sunday, so we've got our carrots. We have our parsnips. We have our potatoes for roast potatoes. Cucumber. Again, I don't like British cucumbers, and there's no reason why. There's no logic, but ever since I've seen these Spanish ones, which are more like bumpy, and I know you should eat local and buy British, but the one exception.
The flavour is quite nice.
The flavour is just much more watery and like juicy as well.
Rich.
Avocados for our smoothies. Red onions and white.
There's an explanation needed.
Do you want to do this back?
Yeah. So one of the dishes, Chad is really good at beef short ribs, and I'm going to try and do it myself. But this time, I'm going to try and do a red wine beef short rib with a... What's the herb? What's the spice?
No, it's the rice thing.
Saffron. It's a saffron orzo. So I'm going to try and do that. So I've got some beef stock. This one is a really nice brand, I think, True Food. I think it's quite good with the ingredients. Then we've got a roast chicken.
Once again, we do have a butcher not far from us, a Ginger Pig, and we're trying to go there more often just because I think the meat quality is better. But of the supermarkets, Waitrose have the better meat, and that chicken is like free range. It's corn fed. It's all the kind of better things.
Got some beef short ribs for my short rib recipe. We normally get quite a lot of short ribs, but when you cook them, they expand so much, and there's so much meat to like one short rib. So I only got 2 this time
because we always waste.
We're not normally quite good with not wasting food though. But I do big portions, you don't. Toasted sesame oil also for one of my dishes this week. Sorry, I'll give that to you. Some French butter with sea salt crystals. We do like this one.
Yeah. Again, if you turn this around, all the ingredients, all natural. There's nothing. There's nothing added.
What are all the ingredients in it? Milk and salt. That's all it should be in there. Saffron. Again, in here there's like no saffron. Saffron's quite expensive, so I don't know why. And then some coconut cream and also some feta. Self-explanatory.
We only planned like 3 lunches and 3 dinners this week because like one night Ash is out, one night I'm out, so it's fairly easy. Rinsing.
This is being an adult. Like what
the dishwasher. I'm not a fan of dried fruit, but you are, and you get these soft pears.
I'm a grandma. I've just realised I like to eat my like weird things. These soft pears, perfectly soft William pears, really nice. It's like what's the other thing I have? Dried mango.
Mango, yeah.
Nice.
Just method. Thing is, we've gone to
We have really mixed opinions on cleaning brands, and I'm going to put this out there because I obviously work in home and interiors. And there's one brand, I'm not going to name it, but there's one brand that you can order online. And it's a really lovely brand. It looks really lovely. It's very sustainable. It smells nice. But I refuse, and I don't think anyone should spend more than even £5 as a stretch for cleaning.
£4 for us.
And I think it's absolutely disgusting how some brands charge you for an essential oil that you decant into a glass dispenser. And they mark it up like crazy. So I'm actually really on a mission. I want to make my own. I said this to you a while ago, but I've never got around to it. I'd love to make my own essential oil bacteria-free. What's the one I'm trying to say? A bacteria spray. Bacteria killing spray. I don't sound very technical right now. But just don't fall for the marketing. I'm going to say this because this might put me out of work for some people.
No, but there is one brand out there that's trying to charge people like 30...
It's £30 for 3 vials, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, yes, it's good to not use bad chemicals, yes, it's good to buy local, all that kind of stuff is great, but you can't justify that much for... And it's not even a lot. You think £30 you're getting a huge quantity of it?
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's like 3 refillables. But anyway, rant over. The next thing is, again, we don't eat a lot of bread and things. We're cutting out all that kind of carbs, but now and again we'll have a sourdough, and these I found are okay, which is the Jason's sourdough rolls. What happens is every time we have a roast on a Sunday, we have lots of leftover chicken. So what I end up doing is just doing a bit of chicken mayo, shoving it in a roll, and then that's lunch the next day.
You're quite good with You're very resourceful in the fact that you'll use everything up.
Yeah, I hate food waste.
We don't waste food though. I keep saying that, but
well, we're pretty good. But
you're very good at finding a dish for it, whereas I just sort of think,
I'm not like a hippie in any sense of the word, but it's even like furniture. Like you'll be like, oh, throw that away, and I'll put it out the front of our house, and one of our neighbours grab it. Like I believe there's always like a repurpose.
Yeah.
So if you have old furniture, or even put it on Facebook Marketplace for free, someone will come get it. Yeah. It's better than stuff going to landfill. Then the other day, me and Ash don't eat sugar, and when we do want something sweet, we put some honey in our coffee or whatever. And I had a friend come over with his dad at the weekend, and they wanted a tea, and we didn't have any sugar. And when I mentioned honey, they just looked at us weird. So we had to get some sugar. But this is
Demerara. It's good for coffee. But honey is such a good alternative. It's nice tasting, natural.
Yeah, I mean, get the good honey as well. Don't get the... It's often you want to reach for the rose and stuff, but it's often like a mix of like random EU honeys blended. So try and get a good British honey. Granted, you have to pay for it. It's not.
Also, if you can get local ones, get a local one. But there is one near us.
Yeah, the Forest.
But we haven't been that way recently, so we should.
Orzo.
Or Oh, I saw an ottolenghi recipe. I'm actually going to leave one of the recipes linked below because it's an ottolenghi cross bold bean co recipe, and we've never bought any beans from here because I thought the branding was a bit.
And there's black chickpeas as well.
And that's also for the dish. Yeah.
And then speak of the devil, this is the one we get from Waitrose. It's the British summer honey. Don't know if you can see that. There is one with Scottish heather in it, but it's just way too pungent for me.
It's very interesting, the profile, the flavour profile.
It definitely has more flavour.
Yeah. This is stunning though. This is just a really lovely, if you're just not into your really strong honeys, then this is like a really good one. But if you are in they do an MGO, is it? The New Zealand one.
Oh yeah.
There's like a thick Manuka honey that they do as well, all from Waitrose. They're around £5, £6, £7.
I think it's more. I think it's like 12.
Yeah, but that one's around £5. So yeah, and I think that is
hollyhocks.
Oh, and also Waitrose at this time of year do a really good outdoor garden section, and we don't really need any more plants, but sometimes I like to pick up some.
We don't. We noticed today our colour scheme is like purple and white, and we didn't have enough white, so these are white.
So these are double white hollyhocks. Hollyhocks are very much like a cottage garden.
The only caution I'd give is we planted these last year and they really expand. So if you are, we're not lucky with a huge garden, so everything we put in, we really have to think about how big it grows so that it doesn't drown other things. These really expand, so I'm not sure where we're going to put them.
And I bought 6. So, yeah, we'll have to plan for those. But they are a really beautiful cottage garden plant. Lots of bees, lots of butterflies like them. So, yeah.
And that's a small shop for us, to be honest. Usually we have a lot more meat and veg and things. But as I said, it's just a few days this week.
That's a 3-day shop, I think.
Yeah, and the recipes are quite good. So yeah, we have a Sunday roast on Sunday.
Yeah.
We have we're going to make flatbreads with is it hot honey, tzatziki and other bits?
It's a hot honey, we're recording on my phone right now so I can't see the recipes, but it's a hot honey and halloumi wrap. And then we have a black bean.
You didn't buy halloumi.
I did, I just showed it a second ago. It's the one in the packet.
Oh.
It's, what was the other one? Is the one I'm making is like a black and white hummus with roasted cauliflower in curry leaf.
And there's like a black rice salad or something.
And then like a crispy leaf salad. I will go through them again because I'm probably going to cook at least one of them with you guys.
Yeah. And then
sorry.
It's alright.
Sorry. I'm very tactile. I like just...
Do you know what? I'm one of those people, I hate being touched. And Ash is really touchy. Not hate being touched, but like when someone's like, yeah.
I think it depends on the force of which someone touches. Like if someone's shaking me about, if someone's like, hey.
Yeah. You're also one of those people, you don't know your own strength.
I'm very strong.
Like Ash will be like, oh, I didn't even hit you hard.
Yeah.
Not like fly. Sorry, the other thing was tonight's the lamb with the rice, which has feta, olives. It's got lots of sort of bits in the rice. And then,
Chad was meant to be cooking this, but we're now on, what day are we on now? Wednesday.
So-
and it's meant to be marinated overnight, but it hasn't been. So my job in a minute is going to be marinating it.
because Chad
and
has
then
been
cooking it.
in the garden every day, composting, weeding, planting, watering.
Pause a sec. I'm going to add in a violin noise there. I want to try and find this recipe. Is it in this book?
Yeah, is it the flavours
This
one?
is the... Oh no, is that the wrong one?
No, I think that is the right one.
This is the ASHLEIGH, like, classic, the cookbook. So this is all of, like, the
Oh, actually,
traditional Frenchy culinary, like, the trained dishes, I like to call this. And all the other ones are more experimental.
I've got it here.
I should be a spokesperson for ASHLEIGH.
112.
If you haven't got ASHLEIGH cookbook, please turn your pages to 112. So it's a walnut, fig and goat's cheese salad, but you've not got walnuts. Oh, it must be this one.
No, it's not. It's marinated rack of lamb with coriander and honey.
Yes, as Chad said. So it's meant to look like this. So we'll take your screenshots now and we'll compare it to what it looks like later, because I can guarantee it will not look like this. For some reason, when I cook lamb,
Lamb's a hard one to cook,
doesn't
though.
yeah.
Like, we've mastered like chicken, steak, but
Lamb is a...
we don't really like lamb. I think we just wanted to mix it up from chicken all the time, so we...
Yeah. So we're going to try that. There you are.
And that's it.
So we're going to put all this shopping away now. What have you just thought of?
Nothing.
Chad's thought of something you can't mention online. What is that? Tell me now.
No, it's not.
Too late.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, why did I go?
Chad just basically said he wants to show you the milk. Oh, you might as well show you the milk now.
No, all I'd say is
Oh my god, let me just show you the milk.
it's not that big a deal.
It's really not a big deal. But Chad likes to mention he likes this because it's Scottish. They live in Jersey. Ha ha ha.
I don't live in Jersey, it's just a Jersey milk.
Is it Jersey or Guernsey?
It's Jersey cows.
Oh, Jersey cow, sorry.
But it's basically like really creamy, really thick. It hasn't got any like crap in it.
Is it from Scotland then? This is actually just...
Yeah, it's Graham's Farms.
Oh, I see, okay.
I think Jersey milk just refers to the cow.
The cow, yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that really boring shopping haul.
I thought it was great.
Chad thinks it's great. We might do another one very soon. You never know. Let us know your thoughts. What's your favourite piece? I don't know. Broccoli. But we're going to get unpacking this away. Sorry. And what else do we have to do today?
Well, we're going to show you what the lamb looks like when we
Yes.
cook it tonight. So that lamb recipe. Again, we're meant to marinate it for 24 hours, but
Yeah.
we're not going to do that.
We also need to go into the garden because our beds need to be mulched. Chad wants to announce.
Yeah, we've used a manure in the past. So basically, before summer sort of spring seriously kicks in, you should obviously mulch your soil. You can either use like a manure or you can use a compost. We used a manure last year and I didn't really see great results.
No.
So maybe it's because we have more of a clay soil, but this year I've gone with just compost. So I'll be composting everything in the back, which will give it all the kind of nutrients that it needs, which would hopefully mean things grow bigger, faster, stronger. And then to be honest, garden's done because we've done all the weeding, we've done all the planting, pruning, feeding. So now it's just a case of everything should really
Tending to, yeah.
come to life.
But what we do need to do now, obviously a few weeks ago we would have shown you Chad put down these like pellets, these wall pellets around all the plants.
Oh, yeah.
So stupidly we should have composted and mulched everything first, then put the wool pellets on, because now we have to do the same thing. But some of you asked where the wool pellets were from, and we will show you in a second. But
Yes, I believe it's Vitax. I believe it's their bucket ones, but
I'll show you in a
we'll
second.
show them in a sec. But they're made from wool, and we have a serious snail problem in our garden. They chewed so much last year, and I was going around like hand picking them and flinging them away. Whereas now you put the pellets around, and it basically stops them.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
So yeah, we'll take you out to the garden in a second after we've done this, and continue with the day.
So as you can see, I've finished putting a top coat of compost over the beds. We've gone for compost as opposed to manure this year, just to test it, as we did manure last year. Didn't see amazing results, so want to do a comparison. Some people ask kind of, why do you do this? Like, what's wrong with the soil that exists? But essentially, you should do this kind of once a year in spring, and it has loads of benefits. Generally, creates healthier soil, it helps boost growth, but it also helps with water regulation with sort of weed retention. There's all sorts of moisture benefits, and it should in theory just make sure things grow a lot better, bigger and faster. But yeah, top coat over the entirety of the garden. And we don't just go around the plants, we literally put the compost all over the roots of the roses, the salvia, the lavender, you name it. And then what I've got to do next is put wood pellets around all the things that I know snails eat. I did this already and stupidly did it before laying the compost, so I've now got to go around again and just create a circle of these wood pellets around the roots of everything, essentially. Add a bit of water to it, and it just creates a barrier and a wall. And as soon as snails and slugs sort of touch it, they don't like the sensation and they back off. So excited, because last year things got ate pretty badly.
So for anyone asking, these are the pellets. They're wool pellets from Vitax. I'll link them down below. I don't know what's happened to this bucket, but all they do, they literally look like this. All you have to do is spread them around like the sides of the plants that the slugs like. So we're going to do them around the hollyhocks, probably these yew balls, because they like to like nest in here, and I think they reproduce in these because they always seem to be hidden in amongst the yew like branches. But it's mostly like the soft things. So they like rose leaves. They love the alliums for some reason. I didn't think slugs and snails liked onions, but for some reason they do, and also the hydrangeas. So we're going to go around all of the plants, pop all these down, and then water them in, and they create a barrier, like Chad said. And hopefully that should stop all of the slugs and the snails eating our plants this year. Right, please excuse the mess. So the lamb was seared on the hob for 5 minutes in total, 2.5 minutes on each side, and it's looking like this. It's rather cremated, but we're gonna hopefully see if this is cooked nicely on the inside. And then I've also paired this with my, oh sorry, I was just about to say the marinade that the lamb came in. The recipe just called for it to be popped into a saucepan and simmered for 5 minutes as well. So that's gonna be the sauce that goes on top of the lamb. But I also like to do, whenever we have lamb, this baked rice. This again is an ASHLEIGH simple recipe. You basically pop some rice, water and butter into a baking tray, leave it for 25 minutes in the oven. Then you add in a concoction, I've just done it today in here, of olives, walnuts, pomegranate seeds, pomegranate molasses and olive oil, bit of salt, and mix it in, and it becomes this really lovely baked rice dish, and it pairs really well, sorry the lighting's really bad in here, pairs really well with lamb. So if you're going to cook this lamb, definitely recommend doing the baked mint rice with pomegranate and olive salsa. So I'm going to dish this up now and tell you what it tastes like. Right, so the moment of truth, we're going to cut this live on camera now. What do you think?
Went through nicely.
What do you think though?
Medium rare. Oh,
is that perfect?
I think that's perfect.
That's perfect now.
Yeah, that's medium rare.
There you go. Should I do 2 and 2, like 4?
I think you're meant to do them singularly, so you can...
Are you?
I'll do it your way, it's fine.
I'll do small ones. Anyway, bye YouTube. Right, good morning everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today is a semi-exciting day. We've woken up, I've had a lot of work to do, Chad's had a lot of work to do. This has been a midweek admin day, which has not been very fun to record, but we're just about to make some lunch. I'm actually going to make the dish I was talking about yesterday. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's like a double hummus with roasted cauliflower. So I'm gonna make this really quickly, and then again, I'm going to do some work, so we're not really going to have much time to chat today, but I do have a really exciting event that I'm going to later. I'm actually going to a dinner at the Garden Museum, I think it is, in London, with a really lovely brand, and I'm really excited to take you with me because I think it's going to be very wholesome and a really lovely evening. It's with Gardena, and I think it's a farm-to-table dinner, so everything is grown and supplied and produced. I don't know if it's by the Gardena team or whether they're working with like a farm who's going to cook for us as well, but I'm really excited. So we're going to take you with
me. Chad's not actually coming to this one. He can't make it, but we're going to take you with me later and do a bit of exploring in London, and I'm going to really enjoy my meal, hopefully. So let's get on with cooking. I've just popped the black chickpeas. Are they black chickpeas? Either chickpeas or beans, whatever they are, into the oven, and I'm just going to make my hummus now, and this is the first time I'm making hummus, so I'm really excited. Okay, right, I have just made this hummus. So ingredients, it's chickpeas, tahini, some ground cumin, some salt. Oh, I haven't actually added some salt yet. But this, I don't know if you can tell, it's the creamiest hummus I have ever tried in my entire life. Interestingly, a little tip that ASHLEIGH uses, put some ice cold water, so some cubes of ice obviously in some water, and then as it's blending, you tip it in and it creates a really thick, creamy texture. And I second that. So hummus is done. Now on to the rest. It's just in the oven. It's going to take around another 15 minutes, and then we should be good for lunch. Chad is just inspecting his domain as per usual. We also haven't mentioned we booked Italy.
Yeah,
we booked Italy last night.
We booked a villa in Cortona.
Really,
which I
really
might
pretty.
squat and not leave.
Yeah, really,
It's a
really
lot cheaper than buying one.
It's really pretty.
We're in the hills of Cortona, like 5 minutes away. So yeah, we're going to do a nice wine trip. Basically, just do vineyards and farm stays, things around Siena, Montepulciano. I think where we might buy will be around Umbria side, like Todi.
And this is like perfect.
Yeah, so I think we might drive down that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, June we're away, which is nice. So basking sun. We've just found out we have to use an automatic. We only have an automatic car, and we just found out that the road is so steep to get up to the house that we have to get a manual.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Under the Tuscan Sun, but I feel like it's that sort of vibe. Like it's a hidden house. Everyone's described it in the reviews as being like very pretty, but a bit hard to get to.
And obviously we'll take you along, so we'll show you all the we'll show you Siena, Montepulciano, all the rolling hills, but I think we're going to try and do some house viewings while we're there. So if we can coincide the trip with viewing a few houses that we are interested in.
Yeah, I'm going to do, I was just saying we had an admin day today, and a bit of that has been housey, so yeah, but I'm going to get onto my computer in a minute, and I'm going to try and see if there's any nice houses around there. So yeah, this is a really boring conversation, but I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Right, so this hummus, this might seem like a bit of a weird lunch, but this hummus is just going to go on the bottom, and then what we're going to do is pop all the rest on the top. This might not be a very good lunch, I'm not too sure. This stuff is so creamy. Over the top, we're just going to pop these like cauliflower bits with beans. There you go, and this is the finished dish. So we have the white hummus on the bottom with some black chickpeas on the top, with some cauliflower covered in garam masala, and then some curry leaves which were fried in olive oil to start with, just as the garnish. And I think this is going to be really nice. It smells really lovely. So again, another little good side dish that you can either have as like a small lunch, a little nibble, or something for when guests come over, a really good little dish to give them.
Push against some trends, and it's really cool here actually to see Tom. And if I'm just going to do a little shout out to Tom, who started the most fantastic thing of 2025 on gardening, Instagram, social media, of plant plants, which is hilarious. So yeah.
Can you do it a bit nicer, please? It's a bit messy. Oh, yum. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome to another day. The last time you would have seen me was before I went to the Gardena event. The event was really lovely. It was held in the Garden Museum I think it was in Lambeth, just off the Thames near South Bank. Really lovely little venue. Well, a museum that I really want to go back to because I didn't really get to explore it, but Gardena had hired the whole place. It's like an old church converted into a garden museum. So yeah, I think another day I'll have to take Chad and we'll have to explore it with you guys. But it was a really lovely event. We had a little talk from a gardener called Hugh Richards, who I've only just discovered because of Gardena. So thank you, Gardena, for introducing me to Hugh. But Hugh has, I think, a lot of different channels online, but he also has a YouTube channel, Everything Garden. So he has a book that has just come out, I think, called The Permaculture Garden. And as a little goodie bag, Gardena gave us one of these. So this is going to be my weekend read. He is very good at his public speaking, and he's inspired me to be a bit better in the garden. He was basically just giving a big talk about tips and advice and saying that there's really no right or wrong in the garden. It's trial and error. What works for one gardener may not work for another. And the one thing I've come away with is he said there's over 100 ways to grow a potato. So you really can just try and experiment, and whatever works for you works for you. So really interesting. He was actually also saying, because I find this really interesting about the potato thing, apparently there's just so many different ways to grow a potato. And apparently the common thing with his audience is they can't afford compost. So what he's been experimenting is he's been putting like food waste on top of starter potatoes and then covering it with grass cuttings. And apparently the crop of potatoes is still the exact same as it would be in compost. So if you're wondering how to make potatoes and you don't have space for it, or maybe you don't have the compost for it, then try experimenting with something else. But really interesting. So if you haven't got that book, I'll probably link it below, but definitely a good read for the weekend that I'm going to start. My mum has come down today. It's nice weather, so she's just come down for the weekend. So I'm probably going to sign this vlog off now and spend the weekend with her. I'm probably going to go see my sister. I am in the mood to go to a garden centre, so I might pick up the next vlog today and start vlogging that. So thank you all so much for watching. I will just say, if you're not subscribed yet, then please do, because in the next few weeks, we're going to Italy. I've been reaching out to some house viewings that we're going to hopefully be doing in Italy in the first week of June. So all I would say is it's a very exciting time ahead, and I would love for you to follow along on the journey. So definitely stay tuned. I'm now posting once a week, remember, on a Sunday. So once a week, every Sunday, you shall see my face here on YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next week for another video. Have a lovely week. Get into the garden.